Hello, everyone. Welcome to the October New York Tech Meetup. I'm so excited to be here with you and to share with you this amazing program that we put together this month. My name is Andy Saldana, and I am the Executive Director of New York Tech Alliance. Just give me one moment while I share my screen here to get started. We have put together a great program, three amazing founders, all in different industries, creating amazing technology and supporting the community. So it's going to be a fantastic event for you tonight, and I hope you're ready to see these amazing demos and to see and get your questions ready for the founders. But before we begin, of course, always a few announcements. So a little bit about New York Tech Alliance. We are a nonprofit organization based here in New York City, driving access, equity, and inclusion in the New York tech community. If you want to learn more about us, please check us out at nytech.org, and you can always reach out to me at andy@nytech.org. I'm always happy to take emails and conversations. A quick privacy statement letting you know that we are recording this session. So if you get asked to come to stage, just know that we will ask you to put your video and your audio on, and you will be recorded. Again, if not, you can always put your questions in the chat box, and if we have time for asks and offers later, that's really where that applies. And then tonight's agenda is, again, a few quick thank yous, some ground rules, then we'll get to the demos, and then we'll end with community asks and offers. And the community's asks and offers are, if you have something that you need or would like to offer to the community, you can put it in the chat and I can read it out for you, or I can ask you to stage and you can read that yourself. Thank you to all of our wonderful annual partners that make the activities that we do at New York Tech Alliance possible. Everybody from Ricardo Consultancy to EY, Eisner Amper, Google, Verizon, Witham, Xandr, Mastercard, Startpath, Nation Builder, Propeller, Google, Insperity, and Sabity. All of them amazing, amazing companies, service providers within the tech community. I encourage you to check them out on our website, nytech.org/partners. And then we have a great roster of upcoming events to round out the month of October. Next Thursday, October 14th, we're doing a conversation around M&A. So everything you need to know about buying and selling a privately held company. It'll be a great conversation facilitated by the amazing Paul Ellis. Then on the following Wednesday, October 20th, we're talking how do you build better teams? So it'll be a fantastic conversation with our partner Insperity and one of our New York Tech Meetup alumni, Joaquin from Minerva. So I encourage you to check that conversation out. And then finally, to round out the month, we will have our our founder spotlight featuring Sarah Mall of Venn Social, where we spend about 45 minutes getting to know how this founder has built their company, how they made the decisions that they made, and then where they hope to go in the future. So it's always really fantastic to check out those conversations. You can always find our events on our website at nytech.org. And then in partnership with the official Cybersecurity Summit here in New York that's happening October 20th, we are able to provide some free tickets. So if you are interested in this event, the Cybersecurity Summit, the virtual Cybersecurity Summit, we encourage you to register for that at the link below. We'll share it in the chat using the code NYTech21, and you'll get a free ticket to that event. And then if you are an event organizer or work somewhere that is planning a tech event for the community, we encourage you to list them at our community calendar at nytech.org/events, where we publish all of the community events and then also include them in our newsletter. So we encourage you to check that out. And then if you like this content or you miss the content for whatever reason, you can always find it on our channel. We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. NY Tech Alliance is all you have to search for and hit subscribe, and then you can see all of the amazing content that we've been able to produce over the last couple of months. If you like what we do, we also hope that you will support the organization. You can do that through making a small donation when you RSVP for one of our virtual events. You can become an individual supporting or a corporate member of New York Tech Alliance, or you can simply make a small donation on our website. You can find all of that information, of course, on our website. And then a few quick ground rules for tonight. We ask that you use the Q&A portion of AirMeet to post any questions for the demoers so we know where to find them. Myself or Callie on my team will help facilitate those questions and getting the best questions to the demoers for this evening. We ask you that you be here, you be present to watch and see these amazing founders demo their fantastic technology. And then 3, we always ask that you be respectful. We try to provide a very accessible, inclusive environment here at New York Tech Alliance. And so we ask that you, of course, just be respectful. And then last, if you haven't been to a New York Tech Alliance event before, there is one question that we don't allow during the Q&A. So please refrain from asking it. And that is, what is your business model? Again, here at New York Tech Alliance, we tend to focus on the technology during the meetup. We tend to focus on the product during the meetup. And then, so just keep the questions product focused or technology focused. And if you have the business model question, if you want to talk about revenue, strategy, and market size, we encourage you to connect with those founders during the networking portion of the event or offline. I love asking those questions in some of the other programs that we do, but here at New York Tech Meetup, again, we keep it really focused on the technology. That brings us to a very special thank you to Xandr, who's our virtual event partner and helps us power these virtual events. And then if you want to check them out, they're currently hiring for a number of tech roles. So you can always find information about Xandr at xandr.com or on our website at nytech.info/Xandr to find out why they've partnered with New York Tech Alliance, and then links to their job boards as well. And then a very, very special thank you to our partner, Mastercard Startpath program. They are a new partner joining us this year, and I'm really excited by this opportunity to share their program with the community. It's a really fantastic accelerator program that helps founders grow and scale their business. We actually have Chris here with us from Mastercard. So Chris, I'm going to ask you to come to the stage and say a few words. Let's see if I can find you. It'll just take me one moment. And here he is.
Hey, Andy. How are you?
How are you? Good. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And again, thank you so much for the support that you are providing to New York Tech Alliance and the New York Tech Meetup, and to the founders in the community. So if you want, do you have anything to share, or are you just going to talk for a few minutes?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So thank you so much for having us. We're thrilled to be involved with the New York Tech Alliance. It's a fantastic organization that we've been tracking for quite some time, as you know. So we're thrilled to finally be able to become a formal sponsor of the program and the organization. And we're particularly thrilled that tonight everyone online is going to hear from one of our companies that's part of Startpath, which is Wealthy. So I think they're up second. So you're in for a treat with Fonta and the team on that one. Just very quickly on Startpath, we are Mastercard's global startup engagement program. So I hesitate to call it an accelerator, really because we are very different from what your traditional accelerator is. So we don't have a firm curriculum. We don't try and teach the startups necessarily how to run their business. We are very much focused on delivering commercial outcomes for the startups in our program. So finding opportunities for them to partner with Mastercard, partner with our customers, and really helping them scale in that way. So we've obviously got some pretty strong skill sets in different parts of payments, but that's not the focus of the program. It's really identifying companies that are solving key pain points for Mastercard and helping them grow through a partnership with us. And just very quickly, because I know this is a very diverse group of founders on the line today, when you think of Mastercard, you obviously think of the credit card in your wallet. We are a very wide, sprawling company now. So we work with startups that are in spaces as diverse as financial inclusion, healthcare, smart cities, e-commerce, customer service, analytics. basically you name it within the realm of business and finance, we're playing. So again, Andy, thank you so much for having us. We're delighted to be involved and can't wait to see the presentations.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Chris. And I'm so excited to have you on as a partner. I hesitated to say accelerator as well because I knew it was much more than just that traditional accelerator program. So I love that engagement program, startup engagement program. And I have to tell you that I probably talked to about 15 different founders in preparation for this event. And every one of them, I was like, oh my gosh, you need to check out the Mastercard Startpath program because they were from very different verticals, but I could see how they could all be integrated into potential Mastercard customers and just Mastercard offerings. So that goes out to all of the founders in the audience. It's a really fantastic and robust program, and I definitely encourage you to check it out if you're looking for help in how to engage with some of your customers and getting to that next level. So again, thank you so much, Chris. We'll put the link to the program in the chat later this evening, and then you can always find information about Startpath on our website as well at nytech.org/Mastercard Startpath. We'll share that link as well. So thank you so much, Chris, and I hope you enjoy the evening.
I'm sure I will. Thanks, Andy.
And this is the part I always forget is how to ask. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. And then next up, we have a very special guest speaker. Her name is Georgie Ann Getton. She is not only a huge ally to New York Tech Alliance, but a fantastic partner, board member, amazing kick-ass person in the community, phenomenal entrepreneur, educator, everything. She's just amazing all the way around, and one of my favorite people in the ecosystem, a great friend. So Georgie, I'm going to let you continue to introduce yourself and then say a few words about why tonight is so special.
Yeah, thank you so much, Andy. Absolutely. And I've been in the community for a good time now. And I'm really excited to be not only a New York Tech community member, but also a board member. And last year, when I reached out to Andy to have this Black women demo night, it was just very pressing to me and how important it was, especially during the height of the pandemic, to highlight Black female founders. As we all know, Black female founders receive a very low percentage of the VC money that's out there, the funding and the support that's out there. And so just highlighting that we exist, that we're building innovative and creative companies, as you'll see from the demos tonight, was just very important to me as a Black woman in tech myself. And, making sure that the New York Tech community recognized as well as highlighted these founders and just as many opportunities as we can to highlight any diverse founders and specifically Black women founders is very important and it's essential to everything that I do, all the work that I'm a part of. And so, over the last year, the funding for Black female founders has gone up. I think it was like 280 in early 2020, and in 2021, it's already crossed 400 million. And so, that's important, but it's still pennies to the dollar compared to the other agencies, the other businesses out there. So I just want to show you all these demos tonight. And I'm super excited for you guys to see these founders. They're working on innovative solutions. They've been working for a long time, and just be on the lookout for other Black female founders in your network. Organizations like Talk Tech Association, Black Women Talk Tech, Black Girl Ventures. There's, I can go down a whole list of these Digital Undivided, these organizations that focus on Black and brown women, female founders and the success of their company. So definitely check them out and continue to support Black owned and women owned businesses. And I'm super excited for the demos to come. So thank you all for being here. Share on social, and let everyone in your network know to support these businesses.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Georgie. And you should check out Georgie's company, GSD Solutions, at gsdsolutions.xyz. We'll share the link in the chat. She is not only all of the things that I mentioned before, but a boss at virtual events and making sure that virtual experiences happen for your brands and your companies. So you definitely need to check out Georgie's website. And again, Georgie, thank you so much for all of your help in putting this together and all the support along the way. So it's always great to see you.
Thank you for having me, Andy.
Awesome. And with that, we're going to get right into the conversation. So I'm going to share my screen one more time, just to show you again all of these amazing Black women founders that we have on the agenda tonight. We will be hearing from Kobi Wu at Visuwall. We will be hearing from Fonta Gilliam at Wealthy, and then Tabitha Holbart from Wholebear. All very different products, all very different types of technology, all amazing, phenomenal women. So we're going to get right to the program. And with that, Kobi, can I have you come up to the stage? Hi, Kobi. How are you?
Well, thanks for having me, Andy.
Of course. I'm so excited for the audience to see what Visuwall is and to hear from you. You're just such an amazing founder in the ecosystem and building such a great product. So I'm going to stop talking, have you share your screen, make sure everything works, and then I'll disappear and you can take it away.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'm super excited. I'm gonna do the button to try to make sure I'm there. Share screen window, please. Let me see. Boom. Did it do the right window, you guys? Okay, great. Thank you. I'm going to push present. Now, if I do this, now I can't see you all. Oh my gosh, I hope we're reading okay. Well, I'm going to just start. And if there's anything, Andy, just come in and interrupt me, I suppose. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm excited to share Visuwall with you all.
Kobi, sorry, if you want to share your screen, there's an option to share your Chrome tab, and that'll actually probably be a better view for you. So when you do the share button, the third option on top is Chrome tab.
There it is.
Yeah, and I think that'll probably work a lot better for you.
Yes, I got it now.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. Am I cooking with grease now? Awesome. Thank you. Okay. Trying again. So, you guys, I'm just going to jump in and give you a quick background. I started the company in 2016. I bootstrapped the business for 3 years. To Georgie Ann's comments, yes, founding is not that easy. So we do what we have to do. But we started cooking with grease and creating some great magic with our first client, with Apple Music, that allows me to kind of brag on my history, which was in the music business. So it makes total sense that I'm a tech founder now. But I'm going to jump in and tell you a little bit more. So we're basically an AI-enabled platform that captures traffic and consumer insights from storefront windows. And in the storefront window, you can see cool things like big, pretty pictures like this advertising campaign from Pink that can be both static and digital. I have a great team. We've started, like I said, about 6 years ago. This team has been building with me for the past 3 years. Marie Barry is my COO. I acquired her business in April. Renisha Bellew is in Los Angeles and is my fabulous CTO with tons of facial recognition background and is a software engineer herself. And then I have a real estate team, media sales, Ian and Tim, and then Anastasia. We're all about diversity at Visuwall. So we're working on the gender equity part, but guys will be okay. We're currently in New York, LA, and Miami. We operate in those 3 states and we're continuing to grow. We also have inventory, which I'll tell you about in a second, in Boston, as well as Detroit. Our next market is Chicago, and then we'll soon be growing across Austin and in other great cities near you. We work with some great brands across different verticals, including Netflix, the US Open, so fashion, entertainment, emerging technologies, technology proper like Google, retailers, as well as consumer products. We are a platform of advertising. So we are GeoPath audited, which is the standard in out of home. We're also certified minority and a women-owned business. A few great case studies that I like to share with you, and I'm just going to run through it so I can get through the rest of the presentation. But, you know, I've worked with Apple Music, I've worked with Pink, I've worked with Netflix. Each one of them had different needs, but most of it was about advertising and bringing visibility for their brand to the window. We use storefronts because why not? They're available and there's lots of them, and there's great imagery, right? We can make a big dynamic presence in whatever market we exist in. We pulled off campaigns for Apple Music where they just wanted to drive people to their new content platform. But guess what? Our technology, which is AI, right? It's computer vision that's telling you how many people are walking by, if they're looking, who's looking, by gender, approximate age, if they're happy, sad, neutral, disgusted. In New York City, most of us are neutral and disgusted, but you know, across the board, a lot of sentiment insights is important because we can see how people are responding to the brand creative. Pink wanted to do an awareness campaign to see if they could uplift their diversity efforts, right? They wanted to see if people were even responding to the creative that was in the window. We were able to help them understand that, hey, after about 10 days, people weren't looking anymore. Maybe you should update the creative so that you can have engagement again. They did that and they saw a 26% boost on the engagement level. Netflix was promoting a new show called Shadow and Bone. You guys might have seen it. It's a great show, actually. And they did a multi-city campaign, interactive screens. We don't do the interactive screens, but we certainly can help propel them with our platform. And we were able to help measure that out of the 3 million people that walked through the intersection, 43,000 of them stopped and interacted with the screens. That's huge metrics for Netflix. So here's the background. We're a marketplace where you can find the locations like you can find a room on Airbnb. So this is all of our technology that's living in window in all the locations that we have. We call our computer vision stack Visuwall AI. So that's the technology that's telling you how many people are stopping and looking. Visuwall XR is a QR code stack that helps us understand if they're stopping at that window, if they scan the code, how deep that adult female at 3:03 p.m. went on that scan. Did they scan the code? Did they add it to their cart? Did they abandon it? But it also includes, our stack also includes custom pages that you can brand, that are branded for the advertiser themselves. That can include links or individualized content, but also a pass. And I'm going to talk about these things in a minute, but the wallet pass is added to the phone. You can open it up like you can an airline ticket like you would, and then that becomes an opportunity to continue to connect with the consumer. So we really thought about our stack when building Visuwall and making it so that advertisers, brands, real estate partners, anybody who wants to be seen on the network can have a really engaging and measurable experience. We look at anybody who's in front of those windows as an impression, right? That's just the people that are walking by. How many faces are looking, which is a little bit deeper than normal out-of-home platforms. But then in the 35, out about 35 feet, we're able to tell you how long it took them to walk by, how long they were actually looking. Like, did we actually see a face? And of that face, we're seeing their gender and their age, and then what time of day that they're traversing in front of those windows. So we're giving you peak hours of the day. And then, the holy grail is if they're at that window and they're scanning the code, we can tell you where they were and if they added to the cart. So here's the screen. It's a simple display in a kiosk form. I'm not sure if you can see my mouse, but I'm pointing to the camera that's in the screen. We have this behind the screens. We have them also behind any vinyl that's in the window. It's telling you how long people are looking. If you use our QR code, you can start to deliver simple call to actions like scan the code, visit the store, download the app. Whatever your call to action is, we're helping people really have that turnkey solution and the analytics that go with it. Now I'm going to try something here, and Andy, tell me if I mess this up, but when you start to see how we lay out across out-of-home advertising, we're often compared to wallscapes and wild postings. And people like to buy the CPM, the metric, the monetary metric on how digital people advertisers buy digital advertising. In the out-of-home space, if you can imagine being able to see an ad in window that looks like this. This is what we did for Netflix. Please tell me you guys can see this. You might not. Yikes. I don't think I can change the screen. So I'm going to stop and show off later. Sorry about that, everybody.
No worries. We're not seeing it, but what you can do is stop sharing and then reshare the video. And then
okay.
You can stop sharing.
I want to show it. I want to show it. I want to show off a little bit. So.
Absolutely. This is the opportunity.
Thank you for that. Let's try again. Come on, Kobi. Okay, great. So you can see how dynamic the creative can look even in the daytime, how it's going, or at night. It's very vibrant and it changes the storefront into a great high-level billboard. Come on back to the other screen for me. Let's see, Kobi, let's see how quickly we can learn how to do this. Sorry, everybody. Boom. All right, I'm in there. Cool. So, if you were to use Visuwall, you get access to our dashboard where you can have real-time access to your analytics. You can see and make those decisions any hour of the day. You can change content as you see fit. You can schedule that with us, and we take care of that for you. The QR code, we're working with a company called Flowcode to help with the generation of that QR code, but otherwise the analytics are ours. We're analyzing that, the computer vision aspects to it and bringing you opportunity to convert from the window. And then here's that wallet pass I was talking about. If you scan the code, you can add this customized brand to your wallet, right? You can update this wallet, and then guess what? Your consumers are going to see notifications along the way. A few things that, a few ways that we're used best. Storefront advertising, right? Big, beautiful imagery in window. We did this most recently for the US Open. You can use our windows for retail, right? Display the actual product and a QR code, and you can buy that product in that moment and either pick it up from a location nearby, or you can have it delivered to your house. And then, of course, storefronts, right, are great for experiences. You can deliver, drive people to a nearby store. You can bring them closer to the window, inviting them to create these shareable moments. And if you look at the out-of-home landscape, we know that across the board, Visuwall makes a great impact. We're starting to see our digital displays that we've created in window picking up a lot of steam. I know that this is not exactly the right format for it, but we're having a promotion that's allowing brands to advertise from now till the end of the year for just $750 a week. So wanted to share that with you, and hopefully you guys will be able to work with us soon. So see you on the network. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Yay.
Yay.
That was a great presentation, Kobi. And this is the right venue for you to offer things to the community. So we'll re-emphasize that promotion that she's running for brands, and we'll include it in the follow-up emails that we send out to the community so that they are aware. There's a lot of questions that came to mind as you were doing that presentation. And to be mindful of time, I'll only ask a couple of them. If you in the audience have any questions, please be sure to put them in the Q&A, and we can get those asked. But the first one, of course, is around security. And anytime you're talking about cameras capturing facial expressions or bio just interaction with cameras.
Yeah.
There is a lot of question around data protection, user protection, attendee protection, all of those questions. So I want to give you that opportunity to speak to that piece just a bit, and then we can get into one or two more questions after that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, the privacy scenario comes up a lot, right? One of the things that we absolutely communicate is that, we're not actually recording anyone or retaining any images. We analyze all of our data and the face that's walking by and assess it on the edge. That means it's on the device only. And once it's analyzed, we send that final analytic to the cloud, and that image is gone. So we only have it for like a millisecond, and then it goes away. So while I won't know it's Andy coming down the street, I'll know an adult male is coming down the street who is Latino, and we can give those kinds of insights. Fair point to call out. In the state of Illinois and the state of Texas, they don't allow that kind of stuff. So we can only give them total traffic counts, and we refrain from even taking the biometric insights in those states. So we built it knowing that people are concerned about that.
And that's interesting. It brings up another point around the data aggregation and just you're serving up the data for one impression, one retail impression for the customer. So that's already a lot of data that you're tracking, and you're creating that dashboard to send it back to them. And it's very specific to that advertising campaign. But in general, you as a company are getting these measurements and statistics across the entire retail space that you have these storefronts. And so how do those trends differ from like an individual touch point versus the network-wide touch point, and is that really something that you're looking at and helping to design the product in the future?
You know what? I mean, the opportunity is endless, right? When we start deploying more cameras and kiosks, we're going to be able to have access to a lot more data. Our initial approach was to sell advertising in the windows, and we started capturing data, and then brands were like, hey, I want some of that insight, because we get similar insights for online advertising, but we can't get that in the out-of-home space. Well, what we started seeing is that advertising, or that metrics that come from those advertisements, is becoming very attractive to the landlords. So the real estate community has said, hey, we're looking at, we would like to understand the traffic in front of our property. Well, the next step then is when we have a foothold in a particular neighborhood or even across a city, then we suddenly become like a nice source for data, for traffic, for consideration of perhaps development, and we can have a nice impact on economic development, and where people are traversing and having those insights. So we definitely see ourselves as a data play in the near future, but we're starting with advertising one window at a time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And yeah. I think that that's all things that will start to catalyze the conversations of what kind of company Visuwall will be in protecting that data overall, and just making sure that it's that it's being used for the intended purposes. I know that there's a lot of media attention right now around data and personal data. So fair point, and really fantastic. Great way to be thinking about it. The last piece, I'm going to break my own piece, but it's not really about business model. It's more about the customer, the democratization of customers, right? And allowing some small businesses and small retailers to come into play with this type of advertising. So when we had our conversation one-on-one, we really got to have a very deep conversation around that. And I just really love the way that you were thinking about it, and how a technology like this could kind of equalize or provide some kind of piece of equalizing the medium buy for some of these storefronts.
100,000%. Yeah, it's one of those where we built the marketplace so that you can find your locations that you want to be seen in, right? Well, guess what that means is you don't necessarily, like, we play nice with agencies all the time, but you don't necessarily have to have one now to be able to be seen out of home. And that's kind of a deal. That's kind of like, an opportunity, right? It's innovation and kind of disruptive in the out of home advertising space. because most brands that do out of home are major. You heard me rattle off some names: Netflix, Google, Apple Music. They're major brands with media buying agencies supporting them. But if you are a emerging brand or a startup, or if you happen to be like a small business that wants to just promote locally, you should be able to do that, right? And so if you can do that using the marketplace, and you can pay something as low as $750 to be seen. I mean, I don't mean to tout that, but I'm touting it because it's actually quite, it's kind of the reason why we exist, right? I mean, I know what it's like to have a small business or a startup and not have the means to get the word out, right? And if you're trying to figure out how to stand out, this is an affordable way to do that. Not to say that all of our locations are super affordable. If you're doing that big old thing that we did with Netflix, that's certainly an investment. But at the same time, if you're doing our 55-inch screens and you want to be seen across Lower Manhattan, we have a network for you that's totally ready, and you can buy it in 10-second slots. So we feel like that's a way to support local businesses, smaller businesses. And, just knowing that people of color have businesses and the means and desires to want to be seen, we want to be that vehicle for them. So always
Awesome.
thinking about that, no matter how big we get. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. And I really, I could probably talk to you for 3 hours at least, but
I know we do that. It's true. Absolutely true, Andy.
But to just wrap things up, is there something that you need from the community, or be it besides this offer that you have for the product, is there anything that the community can help you as you build your business and navigate the ecosystem?
Oh, thank you for that. I mean, of course, if you guys have anybody who wants to be a part of the promotion, or if you desire to be a part of our promotion, I'm happy to share the details. But in the meantime, if you are a brand and want to learn more about our analytics, or if you are a property, a landlord, we call them our real estate partners. If you want to be a partner and want to understand how we can help affect, a neighborhood, we'd love to just chat things through. And then lastly, since you asked, I'm going to keep going. I was listening to you talk to Chris, and I was like, that's an awesome, strategic opportunity, and I'd like to explore that. So if there's other folks on the platform tonight who, have that kind of resource and might be interested in working with a Black female founder, I'm raising my hand. So thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Kobi. It was a great demo, and round of applause for Kobi Wu. We will definitely be summarizing all of those asks, and I'm going to go ahead and say thank you.
Thank you. All right, then.
Thank you, Kobi. We will summarize all those asks and put them into the newsletter that's coming out in the mid-October when we do a summary of this event. So please share it with your networks and anybody who can help Kobi along her journey. She's an amazing founder, amazing product. I'm really excited to see where it goes. That brings us to our second demo of the evening. We're running a little bit behind schedule, so I apologize. But Fonta, if I can have you join me on stage, we'll get started. And also a really fantastic app within the fintech space. And I will just turn it over. I'll stop talking and turn it over to you, let you explain it. And I'm sure you must do a much better job. So share your screen, and if you need me, I will come back.
Perfect. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. So now I'm going to present my screen. Bear with me. And if everyone could please let me know if they can see it. Is my screen looking okay? There we are. And I can't see you, so hopefully it is. Andy, you're not jumping online, so I'm going to take that as a yes and get started. So again, good evening. My name is Fonta Gilliam. I am the CEO and founder of Wealthy. Before launching a company, I worked as an American diplomat for 10 years. And the US government sent me to live and work in East Asia, all over sub-Saharan Africa. And it was during that time that I was exposed to a lot of informal social banking traditions that were pretty ubiquitous in American immigrant communities, as well as in a lot of emerging markets. And after doing a lot of research on how people from China and South Korea West Africa, Latin America, were using these informal saving and lending traditions to build wealth and do things like send their kids to school, start businesses, even immigrate to America, and how these groups had a less than 1% default rate. I got really fascinated by it. And I remember thinking, what if we could modernize these informal social finance traditions with cutting edge fintech and machine learning? What if we could actually build a product designed to be integrated into the formal banking system that could be mainstreamed in a safe and compliant way? And that's what wealthy technology does. When we think about the pain point that Wealthy is really trying to solve, particularly for banks, credit unions, and financial institutions, it's really centered around community banking trends that we see today. Many of you already know this, but a lot of bank branches have been shuttering in the United States since 2017. Why is that? One, people aren't using branches. Two, COVID has really exacerbated that issue. Three, a lot of traditional banks are really losing market share to big tech and fintech, particularly when they're trying to attract millennials and Gen Z customers. And so what we found is that community banks, credit unions, even larger financial institutions, they're not leveraging the power of social finance and online communities to attract and retain customers. Wealthy provides a way for them to do just that. So when people ask me, Fonta, what is this social banking platform? How does it work? I tell them to think of it in terms of Credit Karma and Fitbit had a baby. And really what that means is, imagine a world where you could actually turn every customer into a community of customers. Imagine a world where you can give sound financial health, banking, and investment, even insurance advice to large groups of like-minded people, real time. Imagine a world where you have the data insights that you need to actually provide personalized products and services for your customers at a fraction of the cost. Wealthy essentially does just that. We've taken the best of those informal social banking traditions, coupled them with cutting edge UX, UI, and fintech solutions, and actually reintroduce that to the world as a social banking platform. And so as you can see in this demo here, Wealthy has all of the social networking tools, resources, digital wallets that you would expect to see in any social networking platform. And we're actually repurposing it and using it as a way for these financial institutions to offer a closed community of people that you know and trust that are really supercharging their financial goals. And so the way that Wealthy works is you can download Wealthy through our standalone app. You can also reach Wealthy by soon you'll be able to actually access Wealthy through your bank app. And then you go through the process of one, creating an account, as you can see here. Next step is you invite family, friends, people that you know and trust to actually open up a wallet and connect their page to your page. We collect a lot of customer information around your financial goals. You can follow influencers and people of influence and track. And we use that as a way to actually provide quite a bit of financial literacy and support services and make smart matching between users and bank products and services that they may have never been aware of that align with their goals. And so people can use Wealthy to do a variety of things like fundraisers. For example, if I am a church and I'm trying to help my members save through tithing, I could use Wealthy as a way to collect those tithes and actually raise funds for my church and my organization. I can use Wealthy to do fun things, like maybe I want to save for a big spring break trip or family reunion. I can actually use Wealthy's digital wallet to save. I can use our virtual cards powered by companies like Mastercard to essentially make payments directly through my wallet and connect my primary account to my social account. And then lastly, I can use Wealthy to essentially build my financial literacy and meet like-minded people with similar financial goals. So we're really excited about this solution. And the main takeaway is that Wealthy is helping turn every customer into a community of customers. We offer a suite of white label, customizable social banking digital wallets, mobile apps, and affinity cards. And through our Wealthy enterprise platforms, banks can actually license and customize Wealthy, integrate it with their bank core, and use it as a way to offer social banking features to new and existing customers. So in that sense, we're really excited about Wealthy's potential to really disrupt the disruptors. And then lastly, I'm really excited about a lot of our industry partnerships. You know, we are so incredibly fortunate to be working with and be invited to participate in the Mastercard Startpath program. We're rolling out Wealthy with institutions like Wells Fargo, the Central Bank of Kansas City, the Independent Community Bankers of America. Our technology is powered by IBM, and we have a suite of other customers and that we're working with to bring this product to market. And so I'll stop there. I would love to answer any questions you might have, and thank you for the opportunity.
Fantastic. That was a great presentation, Fonta. And I have to say, your slide deck was absolutely gorgeous. Like, it was a beautiful slide deck.
Thank you.
Really, really great job. You know, I have a lot of questions for you, and I love this whole social financing kind of concept. It's something that, like, I didn't even know that's what it was called. But growing up in Texas, you know, when quinceañera would happen, you fundraise, right? You basically fundraise from the family, and back up. Somebody's the banker, somebody's the, you know, and it totally works in those micro communities of, oh, there's a family wedding, we need to fundraise, and all of a sudden the wedding is paid for, and and you know, sometimes it's a gift, sometimes it's a loan, but it's always tracked within the community. So I love that idea of giving the financial power back to the community that's using it, right? Like, it's really about how is that person, and it makes you more accountable and more secure in your finances overall. So my question to you is, you talked about this consumer app play and how to get in front of it. So as a consumer, what does that onboarding process look like, and how does it connect to your current financials?
No, absolutely. So we have a two-pronged approach. You can access Wealthy directly through our standalone app. And it's very similar to the Zelle model, where you can access Zelle through the Zelle app. We'll be rolling about an enterprise solution that we're really excited about, where you, similarly to Zelle, you can also access Wealthy directly by logging into your bank account and your bank mobile app or bank web app. And so the way that we're doing that is by partnering with financial institutions. We're actually integrating Wealthy into their bank core so that we can help those institutions open up accounts and savings digital wallets online. We can actually connect Wealthy to your primary account, pull a lot of information, data, even help you automate a savings plan that pulls money from that primary account, dumps it into your Wealthy digital wallet. And then through Wealthy, you can do things like peer-to-peer transfers, you can send money, you can make payments, and you also can use a complimentary card, debit or credit card that's attached to your Wealthy account to make purchases. And so we're really embedding this as an embedded social banking solution that any financial institution can offer. And within the Wealthy community, we're actually have the ability to bridge people that bank with multiple institutions within the same platform.
Amazing, amazing. And so if I can ask, you know, I know that credit is a huge issue, especially around minority communities and underrepresented communities, because they're often just trying to make it to the next paycheck. And so they rely on these credit instruments a lot of times to make that happen. And I know that there's a lot of education out there, but I would love to hear kind of how Wealthy is looking at that particular problem set, and hopefully using the product to not only educate, but to make sure that credit usage is responsible and meant to benefit versus harm, right? Like it's always a hard thing. I'm still trying to educate my mother around positive credit use. So
no, you're totally right. You're totally right. It's a great question. We're a social enterprise, and that's really important to us. So much so that we built in those types of social impact metrics into our bottom line. And so here's how we do it in two ways. One, I'll talk about the technology and the features and how we're using UX UI to essentially promote financial literacy and financial health. So if you take it back to the tradition, right? Why are these informal savings and lending clubs so impactful and so ubiquitous? One, what we found is that they're using the power of positive peer pressure, peer accountability, essentially reputational risk, to encourage people to keep their financial commitments to a group when they might not do so in isolation. This is all happening outside of the formal banking system. But what's interesting, like I mentioned before, is that they have a less than 1% default rate. That's better than a collections agent. It's better than a ding on your credit score. People really care about what their friends, family, and peers think about them. And the only industry that really hasn't captured the behavioral sciences and its impact on human behavior is the financial services industry. And so Wealthy actually takes those best practices from these informal traditions that have really existed for centuries, and we've layered on top of them UX, really sexy, beautiful UX UI, and designed our mobile social banking solution in a way that anyone can use it because it draws from social networking and also that behavioral sciences. Now, what we also found is that peer pressure also leads to a lot of financial literacy and strong financial habits. And so we built that into the model, and our algorithms are actually doing a lot of smart perks and nudges to help people keep committed to their financial goals and actually compare themselves to peers in the network to encourage them to keep saving and keep doing what they said that they want to do. And then lastly, one of the other ways that we're really looking at how we can encourage strong credit and credit readiness is through leveraging a lot of our bank curriculum. A lot of our partner banks have financial literacy curriculum that they don't use. And we're also drawing from influencers that can be really, really influential, for lack of a better word, to their followers. And so we're getting influencers that have that are credible, that have strong followings, that can actually provide a lot of financial literacy in a really cool way, similar to an Instagram story, if that makes sense. And so these are all the different tools that Wealthy offers to get at what you're talking about.
No, that's amazing. That I love that very holistic approach, and it feels like empowering versus condescending. So that's key. I really truly believe in that. That's key. Really fantastic product. I loved the demo. I really liked the design. I can tell that design is very, very important to you, and I can tell that you've really thought about the UX UI. We could probably have an entire conversation on your decisions in that way and what influenced there. We might bring you back for a very specific conversation around that, because I love beautiful apps too, and I think that they're really, they do encourage use, right? So
yes, they do.
It's really great. But before we wrap up, the same question to you is how can the community help you on your journey, and what is it that you really need at this moment?
Great question. I really appreciate you asking. And I had a great time on this demo. You know, we're actually opening up a seed round. So we're really excited about that. We've gotten a lot of interest in it. And if anyone knows of any investors that might be interested in learning more about Wealthy, that's something that we definitely want to explore, because we've been able to really pre-sell our product. And now we're looking to service those contracts with seed funding, which is exciting. And I think in addition to that, it's partnership. You know, we're all about partnering with large organizations that have large member networks that are interested in a social banking community that they can offer their members. So that's another way that you can partner with Wealthy. You can white label it, and we can work very closely with you to provide your members with the type of fintech tools, the social savings tools, and even the financial literacy tools to make your membership stronger. So partnerships, I would say, and then love introductions to any investors that might be out there.
That's amazing. And are you solely focused in the US? Are you North America like scope or beyond?
Yeah, so the US is our primary market right now, but I can't tell you how much interest and feedback that we're getting from banks and financial institutions overseas, such as East Africa and Europe. And so that's really exciting. And we're hoping through our partnership through Mastercard and Startpath, we can explore those markets when the time is right. So absolutely.
Awesome. Well, great demo. Fantastic presentation. It was such a pleasure to meet you, Fonta.
Thank you.
And I'm really excited to see where you go on your journey. And again, to everybody in the audience, if you know somebody who's looking to invest, check them out.
Let us know.
If you have those partnerships,
yes.
Let's connect them with Fonta. And I will connect with you offline about a few organizations that I think would be a great fit. So
that's huge.
Yes. Well, thank you again, and really appreciate your presentation and your time.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Okay. All righty. And the next, I don't worry about it, Fonta. I will take care. I know it's the button's always hidden. I will. That brings us to our next demoer. So we've seen retail advertising, we've seen fintech, and now we're going to get into some health tech, women tech, femtech. kind of a mix between hardware and software, from the amazing Tabitha Hobart. I've really enjoyed connecting with Tabitha, and I'll just stop there like I did with the others and let you take it away because you'll do a much better job. Let's make sure that you can get your screen shared, and I'll disappear for a little bit.
Great. Can everybody see? Oh. Okay, great. Can everybody see me? I hope so. My name is Tabitha Hobart, and my company's name is Whole Bear. The future is femtech. We started in 2018 with research and development because there is a problem. It's the oldest problem of mankind. The period. The period is a problem. Women have period pain, and people who menstruate on this earth have period pain, and we walk around silently suffering. And I know that this may sound shocking to a lot of people watching this, but 40% of women find that the pain is debilitating, but 80% of women have menstrual cramps. 80% of people who are non-identifying have period cramps. And since there's 157 million menstruating humans in America and 3.8 billion globally, it's a big problem. The only solution is the Diana. It is our Whole Bear solution to period pain, backed by software and science. Diana is a very small device, and when I try and explain that it's 88.9 millimeters, a lot of people get confused, so we started showing photos of the products on human beings. Diana is internationally patented for utility and design. The Diana comes standard with 3 different settings. Deep, which is a long, rumbly sensation like a bull. And the wave is much like a wave. It feels like it's kneading the uterus and the muscles and making it feel more relaxed. And why it is patented is because that it is proven that vibrations increase blood flow, which a lot of women are terrified when we say, but you actually want to get blood moving to a muscle that is cramping. And we over time realized that the distraction setting, which is our third and final setting that comes preloaded on the Diana, it only works for a very small percentage of the world who menstruate and have pain. And so we decided that there had to be other settings, but that's not the exciting thing about Diana. She is powered by ML AI. And so over time, the Diana learns your pain and creates your own personal pain patterns for pain relief. We are internationally patented. All of our brands and trademarks are cleared. Here's the Diana on some more, ladies. In the center, that is our Beyond Bare Skin. It is a flesh tone, 40 shades, for any woman to wear her period pain out in the public. Our competitors are electrical shocking systems that are currently available. There are TENS machines that have been branded for period pain, which are not the best things we want to do is to shock a woman into distraction. We use vibrations instead. We've also done efficacy testing, which our competitors have not done. We also did a comparison of our competitors, and we do not use TENS. We only use vibrations. We're patented. We're wireless. We're ergonomically designed and tested for all. And we did our efficacy testing for all also. So transitioning humans were also accounted for because everyone who is menstruating isn't always a woman. So our milestones is we've done an incredible amount of work in the last 4 years, and now the Diana waitlist is up on wholebear.com, and she launches in 2020. We started with the problem. We did our alpha testing. We did our beta testing. We did ergonomics. We patented it. We ran trials. We did our efficacy testing. And now we're ready for our mass production. But the whole Bear full circle and picture is that the Artemis app, which is a period tracker, tethers to the Diana so you can discreetly control the Diana's power for your period. And over time, she does learn and creates your own personal pain patterns for period pain relief. But not only that, is it's natural language processing, and that is going to be incredibly important for women moving forward, anomaly detection and predictive analytics. We're here to change the world for women, and we hope you join us. I'm done now.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Did everyone hear that? Because I was on another screen. I was like, oh. I can actually, now that I'm back on screen, I'd love to show people the Diana and talk a little bit about what makes, I think, her a little bit even more special. Is
Absolutely.
that sometimes, or statistically, women-owned companies, women-centric companies are the first ones to be looked for sustainability. And sometimes a lot of entrepreneurs are like, we're already climbing an uphill battle, so now we have to do all this expensive stuff. And so what we did is we decided to take on that fight, but also we couldn't accrue extra costs. And so everyone on the team was so stressed out. And so I was like, Sustainability 101, the Diana comes in a box that is like, I won't say the name because I don't want to get in trouble, but the other fabulous technology brand. When you use the Diana, it comes to you shipped. And then a person can put their skins here. The Diana comes, and then your cords are inside so that you never throw your box away, and it keeps your Diana, your wires, your bear skin, everything in a tidy little box. And so it can charge. And so you keep your box for always. And the last exciting thing about Diana is that she is made to be refurbished. Not only, we're not throwing Dianas away. When your Diana breaks, we have engineers, and our goal is to, over time, roll out stores that aren't just come and grab something and buy, but bring something back and we'll fix it for you. Let's do this together. And that's it. That's awesome. Diana.
Thank you.
I tried to keep in that 5 minutes that you told us about. I was like, how can I make this a tight 5?
Yeah, no, it was terrific. And I have to say, your presentation was super calming. I feel much more calm after hearing that presentation, and the delivery was fantastic. So we talked for a very long time when we connected, and we could talk for hours more about so many different aspects of the product and how you made your decisions and whatnot. But one of the big questions I had for you is, this play in hardware software is always tricky, and so if you could talk about like how the Diana kind of speaks to the software and how does it sync, and you talked about it learning over time, so how does it create that custom profile? I think a lot of people in the audience would be excited to understand that.
Yeah, absolutely. So in 2020, we launched the Artemis app way ahead of schedule. The Artemis app is to control the duty cycles on the Diana. They tether together like your earbuds to your cell phone. And so that being said, we launched it early because in 2020 during the pandemic, there were all of these period trackers that were charging women like $59.99. And I'm all like, this is not new. Tracking your period. Like, we're both from the South. Put a little dot on the calendar, and like we all tracked our cycles. And so this isn't revolutionary technology. And that is I think the crux, or a tiny, it's something that needs to be talked about in our community of femtech and women and entrepreneurs, because like, we need to make advancements. We need to make a revolution, and we can't do it by like doing the same things, but putting like packaging on it. So we launched the Artemis app, which is our forever free period. It's our forever free period tracker. And right now, what we're doing is we've pulled it down and we're about to open source that. So that means anyone in any country, anywhere, you can probably talk more elegantly about the open source context and what we're doing, but like that gives every single menstruating human the same power as an American girl walking the streets. And so the Artemis app was up. And then when you buy your Diana, they tether together. And so when you put your Diana on and you take out your cell phone, as you put in your, like, let's say you put it at a 6, you have really bad cramps, you put it at a 6, and then you have even worse cramps and you take it up to a 10. Doing that tells the Diana what pain level you're in, and then will predict what pain patterns might be best for you. And then it gets better and better. So it's using the same algorithms as, let's say, a toothbrush that is like, I'm learning where you're terrible at brushing your teeth. And then it learns. And so we're using that inside the Diana, but for pain.
Yeah, no, I think that's really phenomenal, and pain management is a huge thing that definitely, is a really emerging industry, and an industry that is, a huge market. We won't get into, all of those aspects, but when you talk about pain management, there, I don't want to take away from the focus on period pain, but when we were talking, my mind started going into all of these different use cases that could be outside of just femtech. So are you thinking in those lines as well? It's just in that conversation, I was like, man, athletes would probably pay for this as well. Sciatica sufferers like myself would be interested in how that would help. So if you want to speak to that piece a little bit.
Yeah, so it's funny that you bring it up here, because I love talking about the wide range of Diana, because, definitely the board and investors are like, stay focused on just period pain. But no, a lot of our male engineers use it on their lower back. It is patented for somatics of tissue, muscular, like ligaments. So it can go multiple places. And because of its design, it actually fits in the crooks of your shoulders, because I have horrible PMS to where my whole back just feels like it's just gonna fall off. It just falls off. And so I use mine on my lower back. I use it on my shoulder. I use it because I have so many of them. I sometimes use them on the front and the back, just right here, just one full soothing vibration. And so over time, I hope that we can go into athletes and the male category of pain. But that's the thing, is why I reiterate that not all women who have their period are the ones in pain. It's because bodies are body and we're in pain. And so the Diana works on multiple places and then over time learns. So if you have lower back pain, use it and it will learn. And I am a sciatica sufferer. Tabby took a tumble back in 2020. And so I have sciatica to this day. And it does help me in my recovery time after doing those stretches that they make us do, Andy. You know, I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
And then they fly. So
awesome.
yeah, it's good. So.
Well, I could talk to you again for hours. Your background is amazing. You're an engineer. You've learned hardware now that you're creating hardware. You're just an amazing a woman all the way around, and just a fantastic person to connect with. But I'm going to ask the same question to wrap things up: is what is it that the community can do to help you in this moment?
I think the biggest thing we need people to do is to tell their story. Tell your story of why we deserve better. Because it can't just be me and like 4 engineers being like, people are in pain. And then they're like, okay, show us the data. And like what we're doing is it's called we over me. And essentially it's we as a society need to do better. It's not just about me, because me as a person who menstruates, it's not just about me. It's about the 11-year-olds that are getting their first periods. It's about the 36-year-old breastfeeding mother who cannot take acetaminophen and still is having her period, which is not something, when I say that to investors, they're like, oh yes, my wife did have a period after the baby was born. It's like, sir, you're not thinking about it. So my ask to the community is to tell your story, hashtag it we over me, tell your story about why we need innovation in the pain space. What is your story? Because your story might be sciatica. Mine was I took a little tumble. Some of the women have endometriosis. Some of the women are just people with disabilities. Some of the people are trans men that don't want to take birth control because that goes against what they're trying to do. Literally the exact opposite, but they're in so much pain. So just tell your story and hashtag it we over me, because we deserve better, not just me, but we all.
No, fantastic, and a great way to end this fantastic demo session. You are always wonderful to connect with and to talk to. I know that we'll be connecting more in the future. For everybody in the audience, please check out Tabitha and Wholebear at wholebear.com and tell your stories. And with that, I'm just going to say thank you again, Tabitha. Thank you to Fonta. Thank you to Kobi. All phenomenal founders making fantastic tech products. So check them out. And with that, did we have any asks and offers from the audience? Does anybody want to raise their hand and come up on stage and make that ask or offer? Yeah, I don't see anything. Well, then I will just make my own ask of connect with as many people as you can in the community. It's why we're all here, and then we hope to see you at our future events. Again, the next one happens next Thursday at noon. So with that, I'm signing off and say thank you so much for joining us this evening. If you would like to stick around, there will be a few people networking after the event. Have a great evening. Bye.